Look, I am all for games taking inspiration from each other. They've been doing it since time immemorial, and it's how we have gotten so many cool and interesting takes on existing genres, and how games have continuously evolved and kind of pushed the boundaries of creativity and originality. But the key word here is originality. On some level, you have to put your own spin on something you were inspired by. You can't delve into the territory of blatant ripoffs lest you invoke the wrath of a lawsuit. And that's what feels like is waiting to happen to this game right here. No, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a spin-off to Horizon or anything related to the Horizon series on PlayStation. This right here is Light of Motiram, announced for PC and PlayStation 5 alongside mobile platforms like iOS and Android. This is a game from Tencent, developed by Aurora Game Studio but published by Tencent Games. And as you can see right here, this is as blatant as a ripoff can get. I don't even think they're trying to hide that this is just a blatant ripoff. From the overall art style of this particular artwork, just from the design of the mechanical creatures to the aesthetic of the open world, the color palette, the costume that very clearly just looks like Aloy, just the character design. As we scroll down, we'll find details about the game. A mecha animal ruled open world, the premise of Horizon. It's okay to take a premise, take inspiration from it, and make it your own. But if I showed you this GIF and told you this was Horizon, you would probably believe me if you hadn't known that this is actually a different game. If somebody had showed me this and said, hey, look, there's a new Horizon spinoff coming out, and I hadn't looked up any news about Light of Motiram, I would have believed them. Scrolling further down, you'll find what this game is primarily about. It is a survival game akin to, Ark and Pow World, you name it. So this is going to be a major focus, just advancing your tech tree and building up your base and all these things. But along the way, there's just so much that's aesthetically exactly the same as Horizon that, one would be hard-pressed to not confuse this game with Horizon, especially for those who don't follow gaming news and, are just looking at things from a purely visual and aesthetic point of view. And that's when you can invite lawsuit, when you can confuse a product for something that already exists. And the combat itself, there are elements of Monster Hunter in there, for sure, but things like how there's specific mechanical elements that kind of shine brightly to indicate that, this is a separate body part that you can specifically target for various purposes to extract different materials and the like. I mean, this is also aesthetically and on some level mechanically identical to what Horizon does. They've also got elements of Power World in there in the sense that you can essentially use mechanical creatures like Pokemon or like POWs. Over 100 customizable mecha animals await your taming and training, whether you need combat support or a boost to production. Each mecha animal possesses unique abilities and growth potential, and so you can take those into battle, and you can use them for your base, for production, and you can transform them into powerful allies. So you can see that kind of represented in the GIF right here. And look, I'm not saying this game doesn't have the potential to be fun. A lot of gameplay elements from a lot of different games coming together in a cohesive package can pave the road to an experience that may appeal to a lot of people. And there are aspects to, like the trailer and the gameplay that we'll see that can look like they might be exciting and that might be engaging. And I'm not saying, you're not allowed to find elements of this game to be enticing, but the straight-up copying of the visual aesthetic and the art style of Horizon is just inviting things that they could have avoided had they just decided to be a lot more distinct there. I'd imagine that just about everyone can see the similarities. I mean, you go to social media right now and check out what people are saying about this game. People are giving this game nicknames like Horizon Zero Originality, Horizon Forbidden Creativity. Yeah, I mean, these are well-deserved titles, and if they're putting this little effort into at least just making the aesthetic original looking while having some of these gameplay elements, at least like the art direction being something that is uniquely identifiable and not just the exact replica of the Horizon series, I mean, can one hope that they'll put much effort into just actually making a game that feels original and fresh and something that, they poured creative love into it? There's actually a reveal trailer for Light of Motiram that's about 7 minutes long. And it's not just aesthetically, even the music is basically just Horizon. Now, before we get to that, you know what's worse than having somebody steal your work? Somebody stealing your personal information. Which brings us to the sponsor of today's video, DeleteMe, a subscription service dedicated to ensuring that your personal information is safe and private. Data brokers are constantly out there trying to profit off of selling your personal data to nefarious actors, so it is more important than ever to be proactive about your digital footprint, and that's where DeleteMe comes in. With this service, in one fell swoop, you can delete your personal information from search results and hundreds of data broker websites. Everything from your name, age, past and present addresses, photos, email, phone numbers, relatives, social media, occupation, marital status, property value, you name it. Information that could be used in shady ways. I didn't realize just how public my data was until I saw my first report from DeleteMe detailing just how many data broker websites had my personal information. And having a service like DeleteMe that can do a big sweep on your personal information is especially prudent in this day and age, especially when during election cycles, for example, the amount of online threatening behavior peaks, behavior that's politically motivated, or when you consider that since 2019 up until 2023, the volume of personal information available has tripled, and all of that is available for very cheap. I also have the security of knowing that DeleteMe is constantly active, monitoring sites and removing data as needed, and providing privacy reports every 3 months to keep me in the know about all that stuff. You can even make your own custom requests to have your information removed from specific sources by DeleteMe's experts. So if digital privacy is a top priority for you, you can protect your data with DeleteMe by using my link, joindeleteme.com/Yong20 and my code Yong20 to get 20% off at checkout, with family plans available as well. You can also find all of this in the description and comment section below. But anyway, back to the news. Let's check out how blatantly the music of Horizon is copied as well. The scan visual, straight from Horizon. It's a pretty trailer, but this is very much just copied homework with some words changed around. Very easily confused with Horizon when you look at the visuals and listen to the audio. And a little bit of Destiny in there, I guess. This character looks like she could be from a spin-off series of Horizon, but that machine right there, this machine as well, this machine, all of them, you could probably one-to-one associate with another mechanical creature within the Horizon universe. It is so blatant. Like, it's insultingly blatant. Some, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom style, open world gliding navigation. They do take elements from a bunch of games. Also, the glider is in Horizon Forbidden West. Again, elements of Monster Hunter, some elements of Elden Ring I've spotted. But Horizon's clearly the foundation of the ripoff.
As long as the world shall live.
I mean, it's a well-made trailer. I'll give it that.
Wake up.
It's a cool cinematic.
I had this dream where a god that blessed brought destruction. So why can't human beings kill God?
That dialogue is really bizarre. It's almost like poorly translated English or AI-generated English or something. I'm not sure. The dialogue in general that we see throughout this trailer is just really weird, and like the diction is very strange. All right, we got some gameplay. It'll highlight the crafting elements, the survival elements, and some of the combat. I'm not saying mecha animals are exclusive to Horizon. All I'm saying is there's a specific design language, visual language, that Horizon uses. This doesn't even try remotely to separate itself from that. I mean, even the animations look exactly like you see them in Horizon. Obviously, Horizon doesn't have the survival building stuff. But I mean, the amount of effort that one has to put into coming up with something aesthetically unique is a lot. There's a reason why it took Guerrilla years and years to, you know, sort of ship Horizon Zero Dawn when that first came out. So much of it was laying the foundation of the aesthetics of this game and trying to come up with something that feels unique. So the combat here very much Monster Hunter-esque. And so to have somebody just like not take similar efforts and just take their work and try to make it their own, it's inviting legal battles. Obviously, not all lawsuits of this type have merit. Sometimes it really does feel like a company took inspiration, but managed to put a unique enough spin on something to make it stand out. But in this case, like, there's some unique gameplay elements that are not in Horizon, or not unique, but like gameplay elements taken from other games that are not Horizon that are all kind of mixed together here. But the visual parity with Horizon is so obvious and so one-to-one at times that I imagine a case could be made. There are aspects of the combat of this game that do look fun, I'll give it that. Like, fighting these monsters actually does look fun. And it looks like some effort was taken in making these battles epic and making these monsters challenging to battle. All they had to do was make it look different from Horizon, and I think this would have been much better received. And not been made fun of for just how blatantly it lacks uniqueness and creativity. But like, look, yeah, there are elements of it that do look cool. So it's almost like a wasted opportunity.
5 times I erased you, yet still you
to not come up with a unique aesthetic.
How much more resurgence do you need, anyway?
So yeah, that's the game, ladies and gentlemen. Light of Motiram. There is also some gameplay that's out right now that is not cinematically cut. So this right here is 60 minutes of straight gameplay with some edits and cuts here and there, but it's actual proper gameplay. So you can see you start off as a humble main character with nothing but basic clothes over your skin, and you slowly build up the tech tree, make new armor, new weapons, unlock new types of structural elements to build your base. And eventually, as you develop, you start looking a little more advanced. I mean, you can see all of the UI elements that highlight, you know, tools and food and health and all the usual stuff you'd expect from a survival game. Hunger and thirst and whatnot. Farming, of course, the classic. You'll see elements of like Power World eventually, so you got some new weapons and equipment here. But yeah, your base can expand, and again, it's just Ark. It's just Ark or Power World. So this right here, inspired by Power World, it seems. The fact that you can collect mechanical creatures, mechanical animals, and have them perform tasks in your base. And you can also collect mechanical animals that you can use as like mounts or that can help you in battle. So very much Power World-esque, but with Horizon-like aesthetic to the PALs. So yeah, once you step outside the base, you can go hunt for specific mechanical animals and creatures, which will give you rewards that allow you to further advance your base building elements. You got some combat over here. You got ads in the open world who you can take down. The AI doesn't seem particularly challenging for the ads, at least. The mechanical monsters is where it's primarily at. Some, you know, Breath of the Wild style explode the barrels within an enemy camp stuff and collect its treasure. But yeah, I mean, this armor's just so Horizon looking. Some treasure. And then we get into some combat with the mechanical creatures. Again, the one compliment that I can give this is that fighting these creatures looks kind of fun. It feels like some effort was put into the combat and making these creatures feel unique from each other. Not unique aesthetically, but like they put some thought into their movesets. The animations and all that, you know, all look pretty clean and crisp. Gliding gameplay that'll allow you to traverse the open world. And then this all culminates in a giant boss battle against this ape creature, mechanical creature, which is what the player selected in the menu that highlighted your core objectives. Again, like, interesting movesets and some cool-looking boss battles reminiscent of stuff you'd see in FromSoft games in terms of the visceral offensive capabilities of the boss battles and the requirement to dodge at the right time to fully utilize the invincibility frames. These monsters, these mechanical creatures, look like they could potentially pose a challenge. Action combat is somewhat akin to Black Myth Wukong as well. You can see the comments and the dislikes and the reaction from people. Everything that's been popular in the last 5 years, the game is pretty much the aptest description for this title that I've seen. Ark Horizon Zero PAL Evolved, Horizon Breath of the Power World 2. It's more of like a Power World reskin, to be honest. From a gameplay perspective, I think that's correct. But the skin is a blatant Horizon ripoff. The reveal trailer people are making fun of as well. Ah, yes, Horizon Zero Shame, Forbidden East. Horizon plus Elden Ring plus Monster Hunter plus Power World equals this game. Pretty apt description as well. They even copy the music style. Yeah, again, it's like, it's not eluding anybody what they're doing here. The lack of shame here is almost respectable. So I'll be sure to keep you guys updated on the development surrounding this game in terms of whether this is something that Sony decides it's worth pursuing legally. I think it's going to be a matter of how big this game ends up being. If it ends up being as successful as like Power World, then I think, yeah, they're going to have a lawsuit in their hands. But if it's one of those games that kind of falls under the radar and nobody really cares about, then maybe Sony and PlayStation won't deem it a worthwhile enough effort to waste time, money, manpower, resources on legally pursuing a battle against this game. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is everything you need to know about Light of Motiram. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this game. Do you think it's just a blatant ripoff, or do you think there are enough elements to this game that separate itself from Horizon that it will be able to get away with the inspirations that it took from Horizon, at least aesthetically and cosmetically and artistically? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.